allows people to have the book-like feeling, and actually the e-ink can preserve the battery, and it's it's not like the LCD screen where e-ink can have battery last up to 2 months as of the device today. So the Sony Libre possessed the first e-ink device ever, and Sony is considered to be the first mover in this. Sony Libre is the predecessor for the Sony Reader we see today. In 2007, we see the introduction of Amazon Kindle, and that's the main topic of this thesis. As we see, the first Kindle is kind of big, and it has a keyboard, and it's expensive too. However, this device is considered a commercial success. This device sold out within 5.5 hours of its introduction, and it is like very popular in the mass media also. So with this success, Amazon Kindle is very confident in introducing the next generation of the Kindle and its huge ebook store ahead. So next section, I talk about the Kindle. In the picture, we see the latest Kindle. It is a Kindle Paperwhite, and this is what we see today. This is a Kindle with very thin battery, lasts up to 2 months, and with backlight, you can use it to read in the dark. So we talk about e-ink because Kindle is using e-ink, except for the Kindle Fire. So why e-ink is important? Because I say e-ink is like having a piece of paper that can be rewritten, erased, and rewritten an unlimited number of times. So it provides a book-like feeling and preserve the battery. And also the e-ink is very interesting because now most e-readers are using e-ink technology to for its device. So with e-ink, it's different from the LCD screen. When you turn on and off, it's on and off. For e-ink, if you turn off it, it still remains, and it doesn't cost battery. So next, I talk about the 5 forces that change the industry is in the e-reader market and relate to the Kindle. The first one is the barrier to entry. We see in the picture is a bill of materials for the Kindle Fire actually, and the cost is $174, including the label cost for $9 for manufacturing in China, and the Kindle Fire is sold at $199. So with the marketing cost, and shipping costs added, the Kindle is sold at its cost. However, most of the devices here are cheap and can be made by any manufacturer, so the barrier of entry is low. However, it's hard to manage and to sign a contract with publishers to sell books in its store. Like Amazon, it has very high bargaining power in order to negotiate with all publishers to offer a huge store. So we can say the barrier of entry to Kindle is low, but it's hard to make profit. First two, supplier bargaining power. So we have 3 suppliers for the Kindle, 3 majors. The manufacturer is Foxconn. Foxconn is a manufacturer for Apple, HP, Dell, and all companies in America. And they use the cheap label in China with technology by American company to produce the device at lowest cost possible. However, as a low-cost provider, Foxconn doesn't provide much supplier bargaining power because of the reason that there are a lot of suppliers that can do the same job as Foxconn. So Foxconn has a low bargaining power. Technology is e-ink. E-ink is patented by e-ink Corporation. So there's a lot of devices using the e-ink. So e-inks actually possess a very high bargaining power. So we talk about 3G technology. Because the Kindle is using the WhisperNet. Actually, it is using the Sprint 3G network. This network can be altered by Altel or Verizon. And even though there's only 3 to 4 providers in the US, the 3G technology bargaining power is pretty low. So the screen have low bargaining power. So we have the buyer bargaining power. This issue is very, very interesting because buyers having very low bargaining power. Because as we know that the Kindle is hardware dependent. That means that it uses a technology called DRM. DRM to create a lock-in environment. Because DRM is said to protect the author rights and prevent the copy and reprint of the copyright material. However, it also prevents the ability of the buyer to lend the ebook, to resell it, to do much things with the ebooks without hurting the digital rights. And also it increases a very high switching cost because ebooks are attached to the buyer's Amazon's account. So that's why if you switch from Amazon to Barnes & Noble, you lose all the ebooks in the Amazon account. So in this case, we see the buyer have pretty low bargaining power. The threat of substitute. So we have all substitutes to Kindle. Of those are desktop, portable PC, tablet, smartphone, and traditional books. Of those, smartphone have the highest threat of substitute to the e-readers because the smartphone penetration in the US is 53%. That means in 2 people, there's 1 people that own a smartphone. Smartphone is portable. It can be put in the pocket, and it can be read anywhere. And anyone use smartphone, and not everyone use e-reader. So, and also with a smartphone, you can install both Kindle, Nook, or Sony, or any reading application at the same time. And using the smartphone, you can read all kind of books